Dr. S.R. Keshava. Dr. S.R. Keshava is a prominent economist and academician, serving as a professor.
Announced that the same tax rates will be retained for the financial year 2024-2025 for direct taxes. There will be no tax liability for taxpayers with an income of up to ₹7 lakh under the new tax regime. The 22% tax rate for corporate taxes will apply for existing domestic companies and 15% for certain new manufacturing companies.
I am Sahana from BCom C section. I will be highlighting about the roadmaps of Viksit Bharat 2047. This year's budget took the Viksit Bharat theme with the government visualizing a developed India by 2047. Garib, Mahilaye, Yuva, Annadata are the four pillars of Viksit Bharat 2024. The light of people-centric inclusive development plan, the finance minister announced there will be a sustained development of all forms of infrastructure, physical, digital and social. Digital public infrastructure will promote formalization.
This is Kaveri from First MCom. I am going to highlight on strategy shift for Amrit Kaal as Kartavya Kaal. The Finance Minister highlighted the need for sustainable development by committing to meet net zero by 2070 under Amrit Kaal. In this regard, the Finance Minister proposed viability gap funding for harnessing offshore wind energy for an initial capacity of 1 gigawatt. Setting up of coal gasification and liquefaction capacity of 100 MT by 2030.
I am Ashita from 3rd year. I will be highlighting on infrastructure and investment. The government plans to implement 3 major railway corridor programs being Energy, Minerals and Cement Corridor, Port Connectivity Corridor and High Traffic Density Corridor under the Prime Minister Gati Shakti. It will improve logistics, efficiency and reduce costs. Foreign investment will be promoted via bilateral investment treaties to be negotiated. Expansion of existing airports and comprehensive development of new airports under the UDAN scheme. Urban transformation will occur under the Metro Rail and Namo Bharat projects. Thank you.
I am Pratibha R from 3BCom B. I will be highlighting on Lakshmi DD scheme. The Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced the target enhancement for the Lakshmi DD scheme from 2 crores to 3 crores. The scheme aims to empower women and transform self-help groups into sustainable income-generating producer organizations. Next, I will be moving forward with inclusive development.
Respected dignitaries. Today is a session which is being related to the budget. So the budget session which will be commencing every year after the which is given by the government, which is being released. So our students, one, you have to get an awareness about what is happening in the society, which will be helpful from the all, that is whatever the sectors which we are. It can be your primary, secondary or a tertiary sector. So you should get the information about that. As we all know, as a students, even I am a student of the PhD as a scholar. So we will be reading the newspaper, we will be getting the news updated, but some of the students will feel that we are busy. So in order to avoid all that, this is the right platform for you to get in detail information. So which will be from different sectors, which they will be giving you information. And if you have any doubts or any clarification or any thoughts that you want to share, so you can get the information and you can get update. All the best, students.
Shri Ashokji Vanahalli. The next panel member is Shri Ashokji Vanahalli. Sir is is a professional with a wealth of experience in financial management and leadership roles, with a career spanning over 3 decades at Karnataka State Financial Corporation, KSFC. Sir has held diverse positions across multiple locations, demonstrating proficiency in credit appraisal, treasury management, and business promotion. Notable achievements of Sir include drafting and implementing schemes to support women entrepreneurs representing KSFC at international forums. We welcome you, sir. Our next panel member is C.A. Lakshmikanta. C.A. Lakshmikanta is the proprietor of Lakshmikanta and Associates, a Bangalore-based chartered accountant firm that specializes in audit and assurance, management advisory and consulting, and startup competencies. With an expertise in direct and international taxation, GST, corporate and labor laws, they aim to provide holistic services to clients. The firm is led by C.A. Lakshmikanta and team of 3 chartered accountants. They prioritize enhancing economic well-being through value-added services. They operate from Bangalore with network offices in Hyderabad for efficient client services. We welcome you, sir. The next panelist is Prakash Asadurga. Prakash Asadurga is an accomplished entrepreneur and a professional with a strong background in product design and manufacturing. Sir holds a MTech in product design and manufacturing from NIE VTU and bachelor's in engineering in mechanical engineering from BVB CET Hubli. With rich corporate experience spanning Honeywell Technologies Limited, Ingersoll Rand, Wipro Technologies Limited, and WEP Peripherals Limited. Sir's entrepreneurial journey includes ventures in export and import of commodities and clean tech with iCleanX. Sir has won the Mobility Grand Challenge 2.0, the Swachh Survekshana Innovations Challenge 2020, and has received the Design Excellence Award and Six Sigma certification at Honeywell. We welcome you, sir. Let us now welcome Dr. Abhinandan, Moderator N, and our esteemed panel members to guide us through the next part of our session.
Good afternoon to all of you. I'm sorry for the bad throat. I hope my voice is audible too. This is a program. It's a department initiative, and we've been doing this program since 2019, and we're very happy to share this program for the students. The point of to understand how the student can be able to visualize the budget is about. The budget every year comes and goes, and every year budget discussions happening since 2019 in our college. And there is positively, if I want to say, there are a lot of students have changed the approach of reading the budget, because as an income tax student or a final year student, we make sure that we give some kind of an assignment, a task, so they can able to go back and read what it is. So this is an Indian income budget that what we are going to discuss today. It's a panel discussion. There are 4 panel members. Dr. Keshav from Bangalore University, chairperson from the Department of Economics, and Mr. Ashok is retired from KSFC as well as entrepreneur. And we have a chartered accountant, Lakshmikanta. He has owned a private firm. And we have Mr. Prakash, being an entrepreneur. I think we are here to make sure that their views can able to tell you what their point of view, so that this is a kind of a thought infusion in your mind, so that you can able to think rationally, you can able to think what is right, what is wrong, and how we can able to implement the course of time. Union budget can come into course of time. That is what the intention of doing this. And to highlight this program, so we've been doing this program since 2019. And we have not done this program any politicized to favor any political party. We've been doing this program to make sure that students get the maximum utilization of the annual discussion. So I also request the panel members equally contribute to enhance the student in terms of value and teaching session today's program. So now, with the interim union budget, I request all the panel members take a 1 minute of time just to express what you feel about the interim budget. So, let's start.
Good afternoon, everybody. But basically, before I will take one more extra minute. When we analyze the budget, one good thing that you please keep in your mind is, don't go by the numbers. Think what was the need of the society and what were the aspirations of the people on that particular day. And what is the vision in front of the people or in front of the government at that point of time. Then see whether those things are there in the budget. Otherwise, everybody expects something from the budget. As a student, I need something free. As a government servant, I feel my income taxes relaxation should be high. This, as an entrepreneur, probably my friends will feel more relaxation for them or more credit facilities for them. It is quite obvious. But beyond that, what? If at all, if it cater to the needs of the country, it means that catering to the needs of the people. This is what I personally feel. So going by that, because election was in front of the government, so even when the election was there, the government is not thinking something on winning the elections, but thinking on the government. So then I think positive about this agriculture.
Good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Dr. Abhinandan, my co-panelists, faculty and friends. I thank all of you for giving me an opportunity to be with you. Actually, the budget was presented on 1st February, I think, and now we are at 28. So, many would have already forgotten what is the budget and all. Luckily, many Nirmala Sitharamans have come and helped me also to recollect what is this thing. First of all, I just would like to go to some basics with the permission of Dr. Abhinandan. Why it is called an interim budget? So it can be a full-fledged budget also. It need not be an interim budget. So basically, the parliament life or the expiry period of this parliament is June. So the parliament cannot approve the spending beyond its expiry period. So because of that, it is mentioned as up to June. But before that also they could have waited that let the new government come and present the budget. But meanwhile, the government has to spend some money, maybe for administration, for ongoing projects. So because of that, they need funds, they should not suffer. So the present 2023-24 will expire on 31st. So beyond that, even the president also don't have the powers to spend. So to draw the funds from Consolidated of India fund, you need the approval of the government, of parliament. So for that, the budget has to be presented, but it cannot be presented full-fledged because the parliament doesn't have the period. So because of that, up to June, they are calling it as interim budget. Normally, in interim budgets, it has happened many times.
I would like to thank Dr. Abhinandan for giving this wonderful opportunity. And yes, about the budget, as Dr. S.R. Keshava rightly remarked, the number doesn't matter. It is just a presentation of historical earnings and the spendings that proposed in this particular budget. So, to talk about minute of this budget, I really don't think we cannot draw a particular conclusion in here just by looking at the numbers in here as such. So going forward in the next session of discussion, we will deep down dig in a particular segment of a budget and keep on discussing about it, what's in actuality its effectiveness and how could it have been done better and where are we actually lapsing? In our humble opinion, we are not just making a comment randomly that way. So thank you once again for having us here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, the interim budget by finance minister is really encouraging for the entrepreneurs and startups. Okay, she has highlighted many 1 lakh crore purpose funds for the innovations and all this. That's really having a great motivator and inspiring for the manufacturing industry, including startups. Okay, and which will definitely make a global manufacturing hub in coming years. Okay, there are also schemes like Ammani, okay, Anusandan and China 1+, okay, and Make in India programs definitely make the startups and manufacturing industry a global leader in the coming years.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all the members. Firstly, I just want to slightly ask Dr. Keshav, sir. I think the government has a broader vision for development of 2047. So that means to say that Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas. Is it realistic work? Because we waited for 75 years. We are saying another 25 years. Is there anything that the government is trying to visualize seriously? Or the serious measures of development in India to be taken next? Or if the government really want to do it, what are the development measures the government has to take?
Generally, whenever we plan at the most, in case if you see from the past 75 years, we were planning for 5 years at the most. And for our student friends, we planned for 1 month. When the exams are fast approaching, probably all of us will prepare one timetable. Then, at the last but 1 day of the exam, we will feel, if I had 1 more day, then I would have been got first time. Even during the time of writing the exam also many feel, that I should have read. But in the real life we will never get that 1 hour or 1 day. So going by this, if somebody is visualizing another 25 years, what India may be in another 25 years, and what we should do for that 25 years. So that is something commendable. So whether they can achieve it, again they have left it to all of us. One good thing about that is they say it is Kartavya Kaal. This Amrit Kaal is a Kartavya Kaal. Kartavya Kaal is about our duties. What is that as a teacher I do? What is as your teacher Abhinandan will do? As a student, what all of you do? So in case if all of us do our duty, then probably we will. Right. As an entrepreneur, if Prakash performs well, as a chartered accountant, Lakshmi does well, then probably attaining our goal of becoming developed economy is possible. And moreover, that roadmap is also drawn. Many studies have already happened now. So I will put 1 or 2. The Detroit, they have says it grows in case if India grows in between 8 and 9%, then India will be developed economy by 2047. And Rangarajan comes out with his own calculation and says it should be minimum of 8%, 7 to 8% for another 23 years. So the roadmap is ready, but we should perform. And before this, I also have a caution to make it.
India is efficient enough to...
Yeah, India is efficient, but there are many challenges. I quote 2 things here. One from the public and one from the government side. Say from the government side, what happened I will tell you. In the past 5 budgets, they announced, just wild guess. Anybody? Take one number. This much they must have left. Surrendered back to the government. It is 1 trillion rupees. In 5 years. What is the ministry doing? Surrendered back. It is just like all of us, preparing the child, not studying. Similar kind of a thing agriculture ministry has done. for the past 5 years. And from the another point, these are all the challenges which I am speaking of. But I don't have any doubt that we cannot do it. That's also there. We all have that capacity. India is potential enough to become it. That is there. One more thing let me tell you. 2023 ASA report is out. Kindly look at the ASA report. ASA reports, whenever I read the ASA report, always literally from the, my heart burns when I read that. Second standard, third standard textbooks, who should be able to read? Second standard textbook, second standard student should be able to read. Third standard student should be able to read third standard textbooks, correct? But ASA report tells us, when they ask the 14 to 18 years students, 14 to 18 years, that's 8, 9, 10 standard students to study second standard and third standard textbooks. 42% of them couldn't read it. This is not something concorded, I am telling you, seriously. And they were asked, to solve a simple 3-digit by 1-digit division. 3-digit by 1-digit division. Majority of them couldn't do. Forget speaking English lines. So these are the issues that which I am concerned with. India is enjoying demographic dividend where majority of us are youths. I am also including me. In this particular scenario, in case if we don't work and if we don't get the quality education,
to say that development of 47 is good, but we need to proportionately work for it.
Otherwise,
we will fail.
Again, once again we will say another 50, 65.
Thank you. So I will come to you, Ashok sir. I was talking about the public centric. So there is a people centric inclusive development, what the government is talking about. From the point of financial institution, there is talking about digitalization. What is your views on digitalization, sir? Is there any control by the government or the RBI for the digitalization? Is it safe enough to use this? Or, as a consumer point of view, how they digitally saves the time?
See, basically, digitization is no more an option. It's not that we can use it or we cannot use it. You have to use it. Whatever precautions to be taken, we have to take it, and government is also doing it. That is number one. Number two, the strong internet connectivity at a reasonable cost. That is what the government is doing. So without that, we would not have been the fastest growing economy in the world today. Thanks to digitization, we are doing it. That's number one. And number two, vastly we are reaching the number third also. So the contribution of digitalization is a major factor in that. Number two, extending your the budget, the basic budget this thing is fiscal discipline. Fiscal discipline means what? We collect taxes, we spend them, and if there is shortage, just borrow. Just borrow, and then print the money, that's all, and add to the inflation. But what this government is doing is, it has limited the fiscal discipline deficit to 5.9%, which is well appreciated not only by the Indian, that will be fantastic. The major this thing will be, India will have a very good rating, and FDA will come, FDA investment will come.
What are the government efforts to bring down the fiscal deficit?
Number one is tax collection has improved. After the introduction of the GST, tax collection has improved, number one. Number two, introduction of IBC code, insolvency and bankruptcy code. So because of that, earlier they used to just borrow and run away. Now it is no more possible. Each and every rupee is accountable, insolvency bankruptcy code is a very strong network is there, system is there. So because of that, the NPA has reduced drastically, and the tax plug holes have been filled up, and the ease of doing business has made the people to come voluntarily and pay ease of doing business. So because of all these things, the deficit is coming down.
Just please. On behalf of you, I will just ask you a question. Agreeing with what you were saying, but one thing is there. Now, why is RBI showing the red flag when our debt is coming to 80% of our GDP? Just from the point of students, I know the answer because some student may raise it. No, all that you said, I agree. All that we are doing. But even then, RBI is saying now 80%, you are crossing it is 82% to be precise, 82% of your GDP. Even then we say, okay, yes, all of them are, even I have appreciated, you can see from the newspapers and media, I have also appreciated because getting into 5.1% this financial is, but why RBI is see here?
No, actually, RBI indicators are from their different perspective. It's not that they have got their own norms to warn the government regarding the liquidity, controlling of inflation. Because of that, they will do it. But ultimately, the government has to, it cannot stop the spending also. For example, CapEx, capital expenditure. Capital expenditure is increased to 11% during this year compared to last year. Last year it was 33%, this year it is 11%. So ultimately the government has to bring some money, no? Ultimately without capex, you will not be able to generate employment, you will not be able to improve your GDP. And in fact, even 11% I have got an objection, reservation, because last year it was 33%, this 33% of the GDP, capex.
It's wrong.
Last year the spending was 33% of the GDP last year. This year it is increased to 11%.
Sir, 33 to 11 means it has decreased or increased?
11% increase compared to last year. See, before last year, 33% increase was there compared to previous year.
Let me be clear. Last year capex investment was 10 lakh crores, 10 trillion. This year it is 11.1.
Exactly. See, my point is, last year the percentage of increase in spending of capex was 33% more than the previous year. Okay. Whereas here it is only 11% of last year. So actually 33% to 11% has come down. In fact, it has arrested only, it has only taken care of inflation, which is around 8 to 9%. So to that extent, the spending is coming down. But maybe keeping in mind the interim budget, they might have done that. We have to see, watch and see.
Can I just, there is both of us are arguing just because you get more information. That's all. Let it be very clear. When we were speaking of capex, this argument came. Recently I was with another engineering college. There also this issue came. 80% RBI is right. It is telling government, it's already reached 80% of the GDP. Be a little cautious. But even then, myself and Ashok Banerjee keep on praising this. No problem. You go ahead. Why? It is because what for are you spending? Why are you taking loan? I am taking loan to buy a car. I am taking loan for something unproductive. That is wrong. But I am taking loan for capital expenditure. Capital expenditure is building the assets. Building your bridges, building your infrastructure. This is what capex is all about. So when I do this, actually it has increased. Just because I was asking and because I am used to these type of questions in the media, I'm sorry, I just disturbed his way of thought. Actually it has increased. When you compare it to the last time, capex investment has increased. It has increased, but still we are praising because it leads to modern development of infrastructure. Gati Shakti. That's the point. Gati Shakti, we call it. So I was just comparing it. Then I will also again ask question for myself, because this was one question that which one of the students was very strongly asking me, and moreover even on the media, one political party person also asking me. When the state government also goes for loan, you people say it is wrong. When the central government said, you people are saying it's okay. Is that not double standards? Yes, I said yes, it is double standards in case if we don't substantiate. What for I am taking loan? I have taken loan for capex if the government is saying that. Then how much of money are you spending on capex? So 79% of the loans taken from the central government is used for this infrastructure building which I was speaking of. Then whatever the state government, it was 52.5%, around 53%. So this is where I told state government policy is also good, I appreciated that also. But when it comes to capex expenditure, increase it. Increase the investment on the infrastructure, increase the investment on education, increase the investment on health. In case if we do that, then even if you take the loan and do it also, there will be no problem.
But you see the investment of education, health, or anything, percentage is slightly lesser. Even today, we talk about the productive budget, we talk about the future budget, but the investment percentage, if you see, absolutely no. Especially in terms of education.
Yes, education, I have a strong objections of this. Because education, government, irrespective of the governments in India, whatever they have spent for education is very less. You compare it with any countries, big countries, where we consider ourselves as one of the big countries, emerging economy.
We have still succeeded in setting up IITs, IIMs,
yes,
and
they are focusing more on skill development. Nowadays, it's not they are not interested in formal education. Skill development, entrepreneurship, diploma.
No, without education, no skill.
As you mentioned,
skill with education.
As you mentioned about the entrepreneurship, we go to slightly regard to the youth, empowering the youth. One of the most burning issues in today's world, with regard in our country, especially with regard to unemployment. So, because I think you can talk about it. What the government is literally focusing on this particular budget in terms of a scheme where the facility can be reached to the people in terms of job opportunities, especially in the entrepreneurship.
For the youth, okay, there are a lot of Pradhan Mantri, PMKVY.
Okay, how feasible it is? They say Pradhan Mantri, Kaushalya, Pradhan Mantri, the Mudra Yojana, there are so many schemes are there, Skill India programs are there. How many people are making use of that? Is it a productive way or it's just a scheme?
There are a lot, around 58 lakhs people have been got trained and 29 lakhs still they are under training. Okay, definitely this is going to be a knowledge-based because once they get the skills, definitely they will get employment. Okay, as we see, like in the manufacturing industry, we have got a lot of requirements for the skills what we are looking for that. Okay, and also for the startups and all, there are a lot of benefits. Okay, like when we apply for a government tenders and all things, we got exemptions. Make in India and Startup India, okay, certifications, everything. So with that, like we can apply for the tenders if we get a good tender.
Most of the time, there is a constraint with regard to finance, capital. So how you would advise them for taking up this entrepreneurship as one of the career?
Youths, like they should be having, they should come up with an idea, okay, and there are a lot of programs like incubation centers where you go with the idea, okay, then you can cultivate, you can mature up that idea to a product, okay, then take schemes already available with the banks from the finance sector. If idea, you can take a funding, and then we can we can become an entrepreneur on that sector.
So come to Keshav. I think with regard to the Annadata, what the government budget was talking about, it's a very sad to say. The government spent huge amount of money since our independence with regard to agriculture, but there is no productive growth in the field of agriculture. And today the farmers also protesting with regard to MSP. Can you please light upon what government should have done, what government is intended to do?
Probably in 1947, none in the hall were born. That much I'm sure. In 1947, Government of India came up with a circular. Don't invite more than 30 persons for any of your personal parties. Say, even if it is your marriage or any ritual, don't invite more than 30. Because to that extent, food scarcity was there at that point. What your Abhinandan sir is asking is the same Annadata who got India the food security is now on the streets. There is a farm crisis. And all of us, M.S. Swaminathan says, all of us have failed farm sector. And even Sainath says there is something terribly wrong in the farm sector. Yes, all of us are responsible for it. First thing is, farmers are demanding just prices for the output. Simple thing. Not, say for example, tomorrow if he manufacture a good, he will decide the price on that. He will say, this water bottle, if he is producing it, he will say it costs you 10 rupees or 12 rupees. But a farmer who grows paddy, he cannot put a stamp on it and say, my paddy will be sold at 40 rupees per kg. He cannot say that. For that we say it's a market which decides. Market will decide based on the supply and demand. Market will decide whether your paddy, jowar or ragi prices, what it should be. So the farmers are demanding, in case if we lose out, because which is the most riskiest job in this world? Farming. Good that all of you know that. In economics, we say higher the risk, higher the returns. Means higher the profit. But here in the agriculture, higher the risk? Good. So that is the reason that why farmers are demanding, give us a risk. Nothing wrong in it. Swaminathan committee says it is CO2 plus 50. I am just exactly not getting it down. Plus 50%. What it means is, in case if I am utilizing the capital, right, I use money for farming, I use my labor, I spend on other raw materials. In case if I don't use it here on my farm, if I use it elsewhere, opportunity cost, which all of you have learned. If I do that, then what is that I would have earned? So based on that you give. So inputs plus minimal profit. That's what finally in simple terms I think. This is what they're asking. But that is not wrong. But the farmers this time, the education list, if you see, we are asking so many things. I wondered. I was seeing the list, which is not connected with farming also they're asking. Looks little politicized. You ask, as a student, you always should demand, I should get a better infra, I should get a better ambience for studies. But
to be honest, there are some modern cultivators, modern agricultural farmers, they are setting examples, especially organic farmers. They are setting an example to cultivate an income generating activity. We have so many examples, but why not it is reaching to every corner of the country where farmers can also become richer. You see, if you see the Punjab, Every farmers have a BMW car, BMW just a car. But we are trying to say BMW, with the saying that they become so rich. Why? Because of the green revolution what happened. Why don't that kind of a revolution which can bring it in a modernized world in other parts of the country?
But basically, infra was provided to them. That's the reason it started from 1947. Situation was very pathetic. We depended on US, Europe for the food grains. Even once when Indira Gandhi or Maharani Desai was the agriculture minister, they go to the American government asking for the more wheat to be supplied to India. They would be dumping it in the sea, but not giving it to India. Then we went and requested them, and then so on that was happening. So after that, farmers identified these areas, the Punjab area where the farmers are very rich now. Parts of Andhra was also identified. So this is where exactly government gave them hybrid varieties of seeds, gave them the irrigation facilities. They gave everything. And because of that, second green revolution happened in India in between 67 and 70. Because of which those farmers are rich now. But the same thing, we didn't do it for our farmers. Today also, we say, we will give you godowns, we will give you cold storage. See every budget document. After 76, 77 years of independence, we are saying, every budget document you see, more amount of cold storages, more amount of godowns. These are the basic things for agriculture. Why is that the budget document is saying we are giving it now? It is not there adequate now. And moreover, the value added. I keep on arguing this when it comes, the government for a sector, I've been telling this. Now government has a policy of value adding. This budget, state budget is having, millet, our millet. Similarly, what I'm saying is in each of the Hubli level, start one ketchup factory, whichever is going there. Instead of tomato coming down to 1 rupee, 2 rupee, or going to 120 rupees. If you have a ketchup factory there, wherein your farmers are trained, young farmers are trained, with the Farmer Producer Association already in place, they can start it, train them, they can start it. Your prices of tomato will never come down, I tell you. Your price of carrot will never come down. Similar kind of a thing for ragi. So many things you can do out of ragi, so many value-added things you can do for your wheat. And I was listening to one of the similar kind of a discussion wherein this thought process came there. I will just share that. Pomegranate is there, right? Pomegranate, how if you have seen. You have eaten pomegranate?
Yes, sir.
Have you eaten it in bus?
No.
In bus, which type of fruits you have eaten? Pineapple also you have eaten, huh? Good, yeah? We eat, banana, grapes, which can be easily eaten without, unfolding or cutting it. So the idea, thought process that came there was, pomegranate if it is peeled off, and put it in boxes. And even if it is sold in these kinds of centers, even those who travel in the train or bus also will do it. So these kinds of good number of thought processes going on. Probably, that is what my friend was trying to say that. If you really are thinking in the terms of entrepreneurship, that's what he was telling, idea. Idea should be in this form. Something new, which people want, which is not there. People want it, but it is not there. Think of those things. Many have done it, for the iPhones, rich people used to stand in queue. Then it became very difficult for few of people like us who cannot stand. But I'm rich, but I'm not. Okay. So what the idea came from one gentleman was, I will stand in queue for you. You pay me. So he started an app. He is employing more than thousands of people. Wherever the people are required, you can just get into the app and say, I need number of this for number of hours. For number of hours, he will be adding this amount of dollar. He will supply the people. And whoever is free, at that point of time, I am free today, evening, okay, I'll send it to you. I will get that money. So, any kind of such thought. If you know good batch of students are there, and you can participate in some of the rallies, then also you can make money. You can make one app and say, okay, that all of us friends who are free at this point, you can do that.
The same thing you can do with the podcast. I think he can talk about the idea generation of what sir has given. when a lot of ideas are there, why ideas are not coming into reality? I mean to say, the industries they have to set up, farmers to set up in the industry, farmers to grow their own product and to cultivate, process it, and then it's a finished product. What are the constraints are there in today's world, being an output?
First of all, we need to identify the problem. Okay, the problem is there, so we should start thinking on that. How do we solve this problem? Okay, and there are please.
To add up to sir's question, let's say even I am also entrepreneur. The same question posed me also. I'm a freshly qualified chartered accountant for that matter. I know how you guys feel sitting in that chair. A few years back I also sat on that chair. Today, now I'm here. I see many of compulsion face. Why do we need all this? If it comes for a question, you just ask my friend and write it down. This is not the real thing. So, since sir asked what are the roadblocks to be an entrepreneur, the first thing is to start any business. What do you need? You need an initial funding or seed capital or money to start with, right? So that is the biggest challenge. Every family might not be supportive or they not be financially sound enough to fund a business. So first thing is to address the capital requirement, how this budget is effective. So they have come up with various schemes notified by the panelers in here with the various names. So practically that scheme would be effective in and about, I would say, 20 to 30% in my humble opinion, not to compromise me. And the funding part, that is the biggest challenge to raise and to have an infrastructure to start your business with. And the second thing is tax reforms in relation to the starting of a business. So when you are running a business, how well you are compensated. Let's say if you are starting a manufacturing industry, so are you given enough incentives to take up this assignment and also make yourself well in that particular business? That is one thing. And the third thing is maybe infrastructure. For every business, might be in a service sector or manufacturing sector, the infra is very much the road or the logistics or the warehousing and all those stuff. How well it is being addressed, and can we, with the given enough infrastructure by the government, or what are the extra costs involved in that particular segment to run our business? Those are the few challenges that you face in business, and also keeping a talent in your plate. Let's say if you are running a firm, you need to have people in your team to have your business sufficiently running and making money for yourself. So at initial period, you might be freshly out of college and you are with idea. Just idea won't give you money. So you need to pitch your idea, you need to seek investor, you need to satisfy others that this could be working, and you need to compensate your employees also. That is again a challenge thing. So at the end of the day, while you are going to sleep, you just say how much did you made, and would this be sufficient enough to compensate or be a break even to a particular business. So these are the main things. So adding an additional business is a separate set of a challenge. Starting afresh out of a college is a very significant degree of risk and which comes with the reward, as they said. These are the prominent challenges which I faced and many of others will be facing while starting a business.
And
Just to add to this,
I look at this, I want with the point of the Nari Shakti. How make Nari Shakti to be more stronger? Because our finance minister is saying about Nari Shakti. I think we've been talking about empowering government, we've been talking about how to make them stronger. So adding to this point, we can talk about Nari Shakti's perspective.
see, actually, entrepreneurship, as you said, as you know, is a risky business. Having interacted with entrepreneurs for almost 30 years in all over the state of Karnataka, different things. So when they come for loan for starting an industry, when we question them, they why do you want to start an industry? We get very strange answers, because I have got an ancestral property, I just want to plant, I just want to use it. So very vague ideas and no strong base, many. But some will definitely have the strong idea and good market projections, good knowledge of the product, and strong technical background. All they will have. So I will just give an example. You must have all heard about Infosys. Okay, and you must have also heard that Sudhamurthy madam has had given her jewelry to her husband for seed money. But at the same time, the institution which I was working, Karnataka State Financial Corporation, had also funded 30 lakhs. But of course, nobody talks about that. So at that time, when it was in around 1978-80, so computers were the very strange things at that time, and we just wanted to know know where is the machinery, to tell what product, what to produce. But they were not able to show any physical product. They were telling no.
When we visited there, they told other way. Because today calling the people and telling them about the scheme is difficult. And they always think that by doing this, how much I'll get it. I mean to say, if I give you an advice, if I give you training about program, they think the other way that he is doing for sake of money. So it's very convincing.
So in that case, so it is a day of internet. You can just go through the schemes available, and even it is very transparent in the government. This thing, all schemes are displayed in the government. You can get educated yourselves about the various schemes. You need not go to any formal institutions if you are not comfortable. You can just get enlightened yourself about the schemes, and you can apply online also. As the successful entrepreneur is here, his story is very confidence building. That is, even though he struggled initially, but he did not have the problem with the ecosystem. He got the findings, he got the angel investors, and doing it very well. See, it is not a bed of roses. One thing is, entrepreneurship is not a bed of roses, but at the same time, if you have a passion, definitely you will enjoy it.
Okay, and we come to the theme of our topic, the prospects and challenges Amrit Kaal and the interim budget. Please give your light upon this so that students should know whether we talk about Amrit Kaal, that Amrit Kaal remains to be Amrit Kaal, or Amrit Kaal in reality.
This is a very tricky question, to be very honest. Because Amrit Kaal, all of us are aware of it. So Amrit Kaal is about making India a Vikasit Bharat. India historically also was economic superpower. I'm not saying something cocked and bull story. United Nations Development Council formed a committee. Angus Madison was the economist who studied on the historical developments of the world. And he came to conclusion from 0 to 9th century, India's share of the GDP in the world was 32%. Then till 18th century it became 28%. So basically India was developed country. And we had enough natural resources then, now also we have enough natural resources. We have good people in place, that's also true. But only thing is, can we really cope up this challenge? As I told you, I gave you 2 instances, right? Already I have given 2 instances. Now, so planning, Indians are always too good. Extraordinary. Even all of us, right? We are too good in planning. Then we say, once again I will do. That is what even our friend Prakash was trying to say also. 80% of your startups in India fail.
Every student who plans the trips, they will not go. Every suggestion they will plan for industry visit, fail.
First fail is in the industrial. You will never become an entrepreneur.
Classic also fails.
But this year, all of you promised me that you will go. Yes? Yes, sir. Joseph? Yes, sir. Yeah, implement it. So probably this is one factor. We do plan, but we don't do it. And other than this, implementing the quality education is very crucial. Honestly, I tell you, this is off the record, but even if you take it on record also, I don't mind. You know, if at all, if your papers are valued very strictly, how many of you will pass? I have done it, you know. I am also a teacher. Right? Thank you. Good. At least there are some who are saying that at least we will pass. Okay. You know, I have done it and seen. You know, whether they ask critically evaluate, examine, discuss, answers are same or something different. Be honest. So, that is the reason that why the success rate in UPSC, KPSC will be very less. Because here, same people are there who will be sitting there also. We know, our students. But this will not work out. In this Amrit Kaal, if we have to work out, all of us should do our work. One is the quality education. Let us do our work honestly. Like as a student, please do it. As a teacher, we will do it. And as an industrialist, as a chartered accountant, as an industrialist, they will do their job. Right? So if all of us do, then definitely it's possible. One is education, I told you, another one is health. Health infrastructure is still not that good.
Never addressed.
Never addressed. About COVID. Yeah, but still we say, you know, we are more successful than US and Europe because they failed and we succeeded without infrastructure. No, good, you know, timely intervention of the government, timely intervention of innovation or invention of the two vaccination help Indians. That's true. Thank God. But still, you know, scientists are warning us, right? This is not the first and last. Many or much deadly COVIDs may come. So India should be prepared. So more money should be spent on R&D. You know, the present amount of money which is spent on R&D is less than this Google and Alphabet spends on their company, R&D. So that is another issue. So quality education, quality health, spending on R&D, all of us working. Another one, you know, I keep telling this. Discrimination in the name of gender, in the name of caste, in the name of religion, in the name of color, class should do. All the educators do it more than the illiterates. We keep on saying this, right? We keep on saying this, no, I'm secular, I don't follow caste, but those who say it follow it more. Right, so this has become a problem. And the gender issue should be addressed. Even now, the percentage of women working is very less in the labor market. So all this, right, women participation rate should increase. Still we are struggling at 29%, 29.5%. When 50% are women, then it should be 50%. And moreover, you know, many women work, but that is not monetarily valued and hence it is not considered. So that should also be taken care. So if all these measures are taken, then 100% we will attain Vikasit Bharat. And one more important point about Vikasit Bharat is leaving this colonial mindset. That is very important for me. Because many of us still feel that we are inferior. That we should leave. You know, earlier also we were superior only, not inferior. India, you can guess if you read Indian history, honestly I tell you, you will all be proud of it. To that extent India was there then. But now, you know, we should grow to that extent, means have self-confidence in you. Let us do our part. The government policies are there, and one more thing, you know, whenever something is not happening, we should be able to raise the voice. Now you can write even to the Prime Minister's office also. Write to the Chief Minister's office also. Right? Don't be afraid. Right. Many of us, you know, we will be standing in the traffic junction with the, oh, this utter nonsense, after it moves, you know, we forget that. So this, every time it happens, you know, we should write immediately. You know, this is the problem which we are facing in front of our college, in front of my house, this is happening. You write it at least, speak out. Only then things will change. Rest, policy wise, I have it in well. Everything is perfect. Only thing is, if we need it chalta hai, and if we believe in ourselves, we can do it, then definitely yes, India will be superpower. So economic superpower in 2047. Again, economic superpower doesn't mean what it needs to be. That is another challenge is inclusivity. We may become 35 trillion economy, 40 trillion economy in 2047. But if it doesn't include everybody, if it doesn't include you and me, if it doesn't include masses, then also your trillion doesn't matter to me. So it should include everybody. It should include marginalized sections. It should include women. It should include everybody. Only then,
when you talk about the marginal section and the other part of the society, the government has, compared to the state budget, also with what freebies they have given, like a free bus facility or a ration facility. Is it affecting the government with the burden of the expense, or what your government should do to see that the budget can be able to effectively managed?
The budgets, I told you how it should be looked into. And regarding the Karnataka freebies, I strongly feel as a student of economics, I strongly believe any freebies with respect to health and education are good. Beyond that, going one step, I say freebies in terms of free ration for a limited period is good. After that, any freebies is a burden to the government. Any freebies for that matter.
But if they're giving a service to the transport, now in one of the Amrit Kaal vision, we're talking about building the tourism sector.
Yes.
And the government is claiming that there is highest revenue which is top because of the freebie what we have given. The tourism sector has nothing to do. Now please write upon this. Is it a reality? We're going to work in a long run.
In the short term, that boom will be always there. In the short term, it definitely happens, when everybody is going, people also will go in groups. But this is not the way you should empower women. What I strongly believe is, you say I'll be giving it to the working woman, fine. Or for 1 year I'm giving to everybody, stop it. Any freebie should be for a short term, not for the long run. Long run it is burdensome on the government. And one more thing, again very quickly to speak about this specific scheme. See, in case if we have empowered them by giving them jobs, by giving them training and then earning more income, then women would not have travelled only in Karnataka. They would have travelled across India. That should be the spirits of the government. 1 year fine. Because many men did not leave their husband or folk to go outside. Yes, now they have done it. 1 year is almost nearing. Now at least they should say, yes, now we will train. Lakpati Didi is there in Karnataka also. One scheme similar to that one scheme has come in Karnataka budget also. They are planning, training 1 lakh women messages in a similar fashion. So all that is good, and even for the women entrepreneurs who wish to women who want to go in dairy, buffalo and cow if they purchase, and if they pay the EMI properly and if they complete their loan transactions, so 6% of interest will be given back to them. Whatever the interest they have paid, that will be reverted back to them. So these type of schemes are there in the state budget also. Good. Honestly, hats off to them. But these schemes, unless and until it is proved, it reaches only to the targeted beneficiary. If you say it as poor, only poor should. And for the poor, you should say, okay, we will give you 2 years. In 2 years, we will give you training. That, for the Yuvanidhi, I kept on arguing in the same lines. Yuvanidhi, you give. But for the Yuvanidhi, in that 2 years, let them be trained.
The students are here.
Yeah.
The same students who are the beneficiaries here.
No, what first thing I tell you is, without taking Yuvanidhi, get jobs. In case if you take Yuvanidhi, within that 2 years, get more skill, get jobs.
But the point here is, that's the thing. If they get the amount, they should use for a productive purpose.
And in this budget, they have bought it. In this budget, they have bought it. We were arguing for that, and in this budget, they said they have linked it to skill enhancement.
So we'll come to the Amrit Kaal what we are planning. Sir, my questions to you. When you talk about the infrastructure, what government is trying to do with regard to the facility for metropolitan city, because there is always argument from the state saying that state has not received adequate number of funds related to the budget. What is it?
See, actually, the devolution of funds from center to state is decided by the Finance Commission appointed by President of India. It is a constitutional body. So once it is appointed, every state has got the opportunity to go and submit their requests before the Finance Commission. And Finance Commission taking various aspects like population, their hunger index, etc. They will fix the target, devolution of funds formula. And once it is fixed, the Finance Minister also will not have the power to change it or exceed it or modify it. That's number one. And here the other states, we all know the state of affairs of the tourist destinations in Karnataka especially. So very pathetic, we don't get the basic facilities like toilets in very well-known places. So if we develop those, if we avail this facility and develop them, indirectly there will be inflow of the tourists from outside India and outside Karnataka. So that is the idea.
I welcome the finance officer. Okay, sir will also post a few questions later. Sir was waiting for a long time. See, Rashmi back. We will post few questions to sir. But will the taxpayer end up paying more or less this time? Sir, I have a very genuine question to you, sir. Because I am a taxpayer. So I have a question to you. The government does a lot of activity for the poor people. The tax is exempted. The government does a lot of activity for the richer. Tax exempted. In economical terms, Keshav Samosa agree. Rich become richer, poor become poor. Middle class become middle class. Nor they go high, nor they go down. And ultimately, we have to see the tamasha every day in each channel. So please, sir, we can talk about from the tax perspective. Is it a justice to the middle class?
Okay. First thing is, fortunately, you guys have no amendment this time. Only one or two things that have done in tax, particular thing, in a direct or indirect methodology. So, good for you, good for me also. Let's go talk. The second thing that I would like to address in here is, you guys should see the relevance. Why you should be bothering about this budget? How does it impacts your family wealth? So let's say I'm buying this pot by giving 50 rupees or something like that. I will be seeing that flower is nice or leaves are good or is it healthy or not. So that way, are you contributing tax to the government in a way of direct taxation or indirect taxation? So I understand you guys are all studying, probably making few bucks here and there, that's okay. So in terms of direct taxation, you are not paying anything. So coming to the next segment of India's biggest revenue, GST. So if you pay each and every day for every item that you buy, you pay GST. So let's say I am bothering about this flower when I am buying. So you should bother about government spendings with your money. So ideally, you are also a great significant contributor in being a student also. So you buy a gold ring, you pay 3%. You buy a spectacle, you pay 12%. You buy a leather shoe, you pay 28%. You buy a cloth, you pay 12%. So this is where you pay money to the government. So when people talk about how government spends, you should not feel it like it's irrelevant for you guys. So on coming to the salary perspective, tomorrow I highly expect that everybody is employed, we are talking here unemployment or being an entrepreneur. The first great hectic discussion that we want to have is how you people are taxed on your revenues for that matter. So for a salary, I would say over my experience, they always come with a complaint that government didn't do anything for us. Neither tax has been reduced. Less than 5 lakh, it is not considered as a basic income only nowadays. Living in any metropolitan city, the costing of living nearly comes to 50 or 60 for that matter. Considering the annual basis, that is 5 lakh. you do not have any savings to pay taxes there as well. So alternatively, in this budget, they didn't bring any notifiable changes for that tax spectrum, what we talking here. They just announced the rebate from 5 lakh to 7 lakh, that is in new regime. Since as a part of your academics, you must be knowing there are two regimes for a direct taxation perspective, old regime and new regime. And the old regime is very similar. You make an investment to save a tax. To save a tax of 30%, you need to spend 100%. Let's say you invest 100 rupees either in housing loan or education or Mediclaim or any prominent daily basis expenses. That is also, it is not like something luxury or wants that you guys spend on it. For spending on needs, they are giving you a tax exemption, which is I see very unfair for that matter. And coming about the new regime and old regime, it hardly matters for the whatever the benefit that they have given. I think it is irrelevant for that matter. They have raised the rebate from 5 lakh to 7 lakh. In the place of 25,000, they had enhanced 50,000. So I see the middle class people keep on paying taxes. You have savings assets in this budget.
What government should do to see to that the middle class also taken into consideration.
So that's what I think they should come up with the tax base increase.
As a child accountant, what do you think?
Clients can be shifted to others.
What he was trying to say is, only 2.2% of the country is paying tax.
Yeah.
He was speaking of extend this tax base, widen this tax base.
Finance Minister also pointed out saying that the enrollment of paying registered taxpayers has increased. The filers are increased.
But not the taxpayers.
So that is what. There is a minimum basic exemption limit of 5 lakhs or 7 lakhs or whatever. Just for
percentage, the revenue comes from direct tax. Direct income is 21-20% is a high, very huge. So can it not be break down for 2%? The 2% can be shifted to another word.
Yeah, that is what I am saying. The stream.
What the streams? Proposed streams.
So I can just add on to what friend Lakshmi is telling. They can bring in rich tax. So why I'm speaking on this is during the time of COVID-19, what Mukesh Ammani earned during the time of lockdown. Oxfam report speaks of this. For a daily wager to earn that, it requires 10,000 years. So that much he earned just during the lockdown. I'm not saying whether he earned was wrong. He could make it, he made it. But you know what? At the same time, 85% of the Indians lost income. So, in case those who gained at that point of time,
95% have 85% entrepreneurs too.
Totally 85% Indians lost. So everybody, you, me, we're safe because we are organizing that. So, but other than that, everybody lost. So what should be done is probably, as you were rightly pointing it out, reduce the tax for these people who are honestly paying. Even before the budget presentation,
generally was like 23 also. Huge acknowledgement for even by the liberal.
So that's what I was telling. Before that, I was on the media and they asked me in the channel, what is that you expect for the middle class? I said, all this 1, 2, 3, we may expect, but finally, if you don't get it, she may say thank you, honest taxpayer. That's what she did. But here, the issue is not that. The issue is, in case we can reduce 1 or 2%, which you said, and widen the tax base, and to that 2%, you can ask them, above 50 crores or above minimum number of whatever the amount which the government feels it. You please pay assess on surcharge of these funds. That much will be manageable.
I think to you, sir. Now, with regard to the burden reduction of the percentage, there is a new regime and the old regime.
Yeah.
Now, all our friends as well as my students are here because very shortly they go for a job and they will have a point of question saying that should I choose an option of old regime or the new regime?
Old regime stays.
That is also fine. The government intention is to remove the old regime
people like orthodox investors like us, and so many other here also. What about
I would say it's not about the investment. Let's say I want to buy a home for which they are incentivized this tax. Yeah. Okay. So the main difference in old regime and new regime is new regime comes with lower tax rates and it does not allow a certain investments that you had made already. Alternatively, on contrast, the new old regime allows you normal deductions or normal expenditures that you had made. Let's say you paid your kids' fees, or you bought a house and you paid an interest on it, or you paid a housing loan interest repayment. So those you are staying at a rented house and you are paying the rent, which are in essential for the living to make. So those deductions are allowed, and whatever the net amount that comes after, then it is taxed. So if the old regime stays, I would say it would be highly beneficial for the investing party, and it would highly encourage the salary earners to go for a housing loan or to make something of themselves when they retire. And on a mandatory note also, you would be contributing 12% of your salary as APF, which is again qualified for ATC, that deduction. When it comes to new regime, all these things are lapsed. You do not have an option to claim this. As long as you have a break-even of extended rebate of new regime to compare your old regime, I think old regime should stay, and it will encourage all the taxpayer to invest and make something of themselves while they retire.
This year, when I was costing, first time, all this, every time I pay. Every time, I just calculate it in both and try to, always I use the old tax regime because I had the EMI, I had the loan on my house. So, but this time, calculated the same, though interest rate also I paid is beyond 2 lakh rupees. But even then, 7,000 was the savings in the new tax regime.
Yeah, that is what, sir. Now it has been extended.
So that the rebate has all come towards this side.
Then maybe you will remove. They will remove. That is the case there.
Yeah. This time I paid in the new tax regime, going for the 7,000 incentive.
You have a cross verification and you have the better benefits. And then
so next year or other next year, within 2 years it will go.
No, but in the new regime, the other side effects are that people will not be encouraged to go for housing loans. Number one. Number two is savings. What that compulsory doing savings, that will not be there.
Yes.
Or even health insurance, whatever they are taking, they may neglect. So these are the other side effects of the correct new regime.
That is adding a weight in India. That is what my point is. In India, I would say the people who are employed, while they are retiring, let's say before to 5 years, they would be left with one car, one vehicle, EMI paid off.
No, but the recent government economic surveys, if you see from past 3-4 years, all these years we were saving solely to economy. That's how me, Abhinandan, he and his daughter. But now it is towards the expenditure economy. This is what economic survey is telling. It is telling, don't concentrate on savings. Concentrate on your expending.
to say that we are westernizing our culture.
Yeah.
If you go to US, there is no saving.
There is no saving.
So there is no saving. In India, at least we have a conservative thought. That's how we sustain.
Core value savings.
I don't know what age you belong to when you were in 2009. I think I was studying degree. So that was Euro crisis happened. And there was a US crisis happened in 2011. Believe it or not, India sustained that kind of a crisis. None of the European country or developed country could not sustain, but we sustained. Because of the conservative thought, LIC was flourishing. Today LIC is at a state at a different level. But we need to understand that what we need to do it in terms of our taxpayers for the future prosperity.
Yeah, this savings we should not be personal pay.
Okay, so I think I'm following it up my time. So I will ask questions from the relevant perspective in the budget. Now we are open to the questionnaire from the student perspective. We will have a one-on-one discussion with the student so that it will be more interesting because students are always have different perspectives to ask. The panelists can take the question.
Sectors of the economy. Every year what I see is that one portion they say that the sectors have gained and other sectors have lost. So what measures according to you, or what needs to be done so that all the sectors of the economy have a positive impact, positive outcome or opinion towards the budget? Because as you mentioned earlier, the budget is for the people. So always we have people from various sectors who are satisfied and others are not satisfied. So according to you, what measures need to be taken so that all the sectors have a positive opinion towards the budget?
Basically, it's about inclusivity. What's your good name? Vaishnavi. It should be about inclusivity. Include as many sectors as possible. But one thing, resources are scarce. The government wish to give to every sector, wish to give to everyone. But you should prioritize. This year, who should be? Next year, who should be? That is the reason sometimes they feel long-run development or a capital expenditure is more crucial than these kinds of popular schemes. So these kinds of allocation every government should do. In case if it tries to please all, then it's not a good budget. But if it's include everybody, then it's a good budget. But how you include, that's a strategy that which the government makes. Sometimes you bring in a good road in front of your house. That benefits not just you, all those who commute on that road. So think of those perspectives for the long run, for the people, for the country. Whichever is beneficial, that is good.
Any other questions from the audience?
Good evening, sir. I'm Chakrapriya. What are the efforts that the government has made to reduce the fiscal deficit?
See, fiscal deficit is a very important aspect in any budget, and controlling that is a very tricky situation, because if you don't have the funds, you will not have the development works. At the same time, if you borrow too much, and then there will be major amount of the revenue will go for the payment of interest. So to control that, we have to concentrate on other revenue models, like tax is one, direct and indirect taxes. Number two is the NPAs that you have got in banks, that has to be reduced. So the government what is doing is, GST is a very transparent system nowadays. From when it was introduced in 2018, 17. So the collection was 60,000 crores per month. Now it is 1,85,000 crores. So that is the plug that they have done, and GST has increased. Number two, the other revenues like direct taxes also, they have given like introduction of the new regime they have introduced. So because of that, many people have voluntarily started giving tax and doing it. And number three is efficiently managing the projects ongoing. So once the Prime Minister was telling that the infrastructure projects were going, work in progress was going from up to 20 years. So what will happen is the cost to overrun will happen. Now what is the object? Object is, if you want to finish it in 5 years, you have to finish it in 5 years. If your foundation stone is laid down today, it has to be completed in 5 years. So because of that, there will not be overrun of the cost of, and then more funds are not required. So plugging that is also important. Because of all these measures, I think they have controlled the deficit to 5.9%, which is well appreciated. And in another 2 years, they are bringing it to 4.5%. So what are the advantages? Ultimately, okay, we borrow less, but at the same time, the international rating of India will go up. So if the international rating of India will go up, the private sector will have the more attractive rate at which they can borrow. So this is the financial discipline, ultimately measure first criteria for financial discipline, what is your fiscal discipline. So I think they have achieved whatever is, see the thing is, we had COVID, we had El Nino effect, we had Ukraine war. In spite of all these odds, we are able to bring it to 5 or 9% is a very good work, I can say.
Adding to what Ashok is telling, it's basically about the Fiscal Responsibility Budget Management Act. According to which, every government can spend only 3% of the GDP in terms of the deficit, not beyond 3%. But during the emergencies, they can increase it. What happened in 2020, all of us know. Economy went back by 2 years and government was forced to spend more. That is the time when our fiscal deficit crossed 9. It was 9.8% to be very precise. So almost all the economies then went for more and more deficit financing. And now it is coming slowly down because of all the policies that which Dr. Ashok mentioned. And one more important thing is, always they should plug in the unproductive expenditure. And simply creating something for somebody is not good. That is what central government is trying to do now. And moreover, this DBT also helped the government. Because directly reach to the beneficiaries and there were no middlemen. So all these policies is helping. Hope very soon this will come back to again to 3.5%.
Any other questions?
Good evening, sir. My name is Swati. The present budget, which there is the assessment year for 2024, the budget which is framed, does it have the impact that we have the inequality in our income levels, and does it impact would it promote the economic growth in the economy?
Inequality is there. Agreed, because inequality is very high in this country. Undoubtedly, you're right. But only thing is, in the economics we have a theory called as development gap. There is one more theory called as Kuznets inverted U-shaped curve. What it says is in the beginning of the development, in the course of the journey of the good trajectory, for some years inequality will increase. But at a point of time, same example, we in 2030, 2035, when the growth will be very high, then it will be trickling down to all the sections of society. Then the inequality will decrease. So now we are growing, and probably because of that inequality is also increasing. I am not saying it is right. So government also should take measures to reduce it. We should not wait up to 2030 or 2032 to reduce it. So it should also reduce it. But you should also know the theory behind it, why it is increasing now. So once the government begins much more inclusive development policies, probably inequality will come down.
Actually, there was a joke also the next day of the budget presentation. So the finance minister was telling in a cartoon, "Mera kam to ho gaya. Whatever what you ask your CA, you have to find out what you want."
So, any questions for us on the achievement?
Sir, what are the spending priorities in financial year 2025?
This is the biggest question that we discussed earlier also. This is the priority sectors. Education and other aspects were not given more important. Though we can do it, though we can do this IITs created or legal IIMs are created or whatever these schools are created. Ultimately what is happening is basically the total sector of investment towards education has literally come down. The reason is everything is right. Probably we can expect the sectoral allocation of education will be much more in the full-fledged budget in June, for sure, because there is a June 2 months the probably sectoral allocation was little less. Any other questions? Is it on? Here it gets a planning. Please.
Good evening, everybody. So my question is, the highest revenue is still from the borrowings from all other foreign institutions or government in India. So how can India reduce debt? Like the highest revenue is from borrowings and direct taxes, right? So how can you reduce it and make it to college students? As you all discussed it.
You need to say how the borrowing can be reduced and so say investment can be increased by sending or exporting the goods. Is it like that? Sir, I have a genuine question for this also. With regard to export import, I think after the government has come with making India, before also there was a concept of AEW. That is all the concept was. Now she is talking about the export import. So she was talking about export to be less, export to be more, import should be less. How to do this?
Good name.
Hiranmai.
Hiranmai. I decide. Probably you have heard for local for vocal. You have heard this, how to promote the domestic industries. Vocal for local. Have you heard this, right? Vocal for local. Have I heard that? Have you heard? Yeah. This is about promoting the local industries, right? Promoting the local industries, Swadeshi industries. And on the other hand, they are also promoting FDI. It's not just only about the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Atmanirbhar Bharat is about developing our own goods in the context of Bharat. But on the other hand, we are also encouraging the FDI. So that also promotes your Make in India. So Make in India not just within the domestic companies, but Make in India with the help of the foreign direct investment also. So this is how our exports will be promoted. If you see the past 6-7 years data, our exports have increased. Earlier it was less than 2%. Now it is almost reaching 4.5% of the world trade. So this is the reason that why I am saying gradually we are picking up. And definitely a day will come wherein what you are speaking of exports will be high and imports will be less, will definitely happen. Because the days were there, whenever somebody used to go to abroad, every relative used to go to.
So definitely a mass manufacturing production, if we are achieving, definitely there is a export potential for that.
Incidentally, India is the second largest mobile manufacturers now. That's what I read.
Welcome, Principal Ma'am also.
Last few minutes, I'm keeping a tab on my watch. 4:30, I know everybody is seeing your watch too. Last few more minutes, so we'll not stretch this discussion. So there is a lot of discussion happened few months back with regard to the state. I'll ask you the question to you, sir. The state is demanding my tax, my rents with regard to GST. So what is your opinion, sir?
That is what, sir. When I am paying, I am right to have asked, what are the spendings and where is my share?
How to bridge this gap, sir? Now, what I'm trying to say is about state has some set of reservation with regard to the revenue to be collected, and the center is saying the tug-of-war between the BJP rules, the ruling party will go by the state and opposition party will by the state. How do you make sure that as a tax consultant, how do you feel that it is distributed in a proper way?
Here the problem is between the two parties, two states, state and central.
How does it can be healthy, ma'am?
I really have no answer for this. I'm sorry.
So basically, he was trying to highlight that earlier. All this is not truly political. That we made to feel as if it is political. But in case if you ask me, just 2 minutes, reminder. If you ask me, did southern states lose out? Yes. Yes is the straight answer. Why they lost out? Look at the indicators. 2011 census. All the southern states had controlled the population. Northern states did control. What's the share of the money that Uttar Pradesh is getting?
Almost 2/3.
18% of the money. And what is the Bihar share? 10%. What is it? We are getting 3.5%. So this is the reason why. One is the census population. 2011 was taken, so that is number one. Number two, what they took was income distance. Income distance is, you say for example, Karnataka's per capita income today is 3.25 lakh, whereas average India's per capita is around 1.80 lakhs. Whereas of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar is far less than India. So automatically they rank from where they are and where we are. So they will gain the weightage given to this income distance is 45%. So southern states do well, including Karnataka, is a tax collection, that is tax efforts. What's the weightage given to it? Is only 2.5%. Another weightage is forest cover and ecology. Only 5 states in India qualify for it and Karnataka is not there. No southern state is there. Because we have only 20% forest, whereas they have more forest. So these are the reasons that why Karnataka loses out. But what if the weightage is given more to the tax efforts, to the tax discipline, for the fiscal discipline? So this is what the government committees should go and appeal before the Finance Commission, 16th Finance Commission. See that you give it to everybody, because India means it's a Bharat Mata, many children, and this Uttar Pradesh is also her child only. Bihar is also her child only. They should also be developed on par with Karnataka. Undoubtedly, yes. But earlier, whatever we were getting, it was 4.56%. Earlier, we were getting at least that. Don't decrease from that point. See that you increase, otherwise keep it at the same point. That one thing we should argue. And another thing is give scientific base for all this. Say which indicator? Say tax effort will have an indicator. You at least increase it to 20%. Then Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, all of us will gain. Because we are doing all the efforts. Don't punish us because we are doing good. Then again, don't punish them because they are not doing bad. Maintain some equity, maintain some justice. This is what should be the line of argument. If we do it, there are good number of economic factors which are explained elsewhere. It requires a lot of time. If you can do that, then definitely we can ask.
Okay. Any other questions now we would like to ask? Sir, you want to ask any questions? Okay. So with this, okay, there is one last question I think, please. I think it's not on.
Good evening, sir. I'm Medha. So the Income Tax Act Section 5A gives a provision for the Portugal Civil Code, which is a form of uniform civil code for Goa. So I was wondering, would future budgets give a prospective amendment where we would have uniform civil code that is applicable to the entire country?
That particular thing was drafted in 1961. So when you speak of a civil uniform code on an India and on an entire case, I think it is still also the single code for every Indians. There is a particular exemption or some of the sections which are specifically drawn for that particular reason. On a bulk basis, it is very negligible. I would say point in a fraction of percentile as compared to the in total the Indians government tax depositors. So I would say it is till now also it is a civil code, only one income tax applicable for all. Just because of during that particular year, considering the circumstances, that was drafted like that, but it was left like that only.
Colonial mindset is going. Things are changing, it will also change. Very soon it will happen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think we had a beautiful, wonderful, meaningful session. I thank Dr. Keshav, Mr. Ashok, and C.A. Lakshmi and Mr. Prakash for taking the busy time and coming here and giving us valuable input on the union budget, interim union budget, with the theme of prospects and challenges of interim budget. So thank you, sir, for coming and sharing your valuable knowledge to the students. We have come to the end of the session.
It is now an honor to welcome the esteemed principal, Dr. Lakshmi B.N. of MLAT to address the gathering.
Yes, good evening, girls. Yeah, I know it's time for you to leave, but still I would say that this session, that is the panel discussion, which is being organized from the Department of Commerce, this is not the first time. I think they are organizing it from 2019 itself, and so many students have been benefited and many speakers have given us the insight into the budget, what it is and all, and many students have gained the knowledge. But today I heard that it was a wonderful session where all the speakers, they have given their insights and valuable suggestions for you, and so now you should be that is when the interim budget is happening, when the budget is happening next, when the government is being formed, you should be able to say that this is what I have learned, and you should be able to educate the other people in the family. So that means I think you have got an insight about the 3 types of budgets which is available. One is the surplus budget. Since I have a science background, I know only the headlines of the budgets like surplus budget or deficit budget or a balanced budget. So as far as my knowledge, the entire economy of the country will improve only when there is a balanced budget. So the same balanced budget we have to follow everywhere. So I think you got a very good insight about all these in today's session, and I humbly thank all the speakers here for, in spite of the busy schedule, they have come here and they have discussed thoroughly about the budget to our students. So I thank you on behalf of management, myself, staff and students and the Department of Commerce. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Let us be associated with you further also, so that our students will gain more knowledge about the other things, what is happening in the corporate world or in the trade world. Okay? Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
I now request Principal Dr. Lakshmi B.N. to present the speakers with the momentum. I request Head of Department Professor Manjula to present the token of gratitude to our beloved Principal Lakshmi ma'am. As we conclude our session, it's my pleasure to invite Ms. Sri Lakshmi, Assistant Professor MLAT, to extend our gratitude and appreciation.
Good evening to all present here. On behalf of the Department of Commerce, Maharani Lakshmi Ammani College for Women, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to others who made this event a successful one. First and foremost, I express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Lakshmi B.N. ma'am for her guidance and leadership as the principal of college. Next, I would like to express my gratitude. Thank you. I also express my gratitude to Professor Sharmista Dattama in her absence for her guidance and contribution. A special thanks to Dr. Abhinandan N sir in his absence, the administrative officer, for ensuring this smooth functioning of program. I extend our gratitude to G. Narayana Subramani sir, the finance officer, for his instrumental support in making the event run smoothly. Heartfelt thanks to Professor Manjula Shekhar ma'am, head of the department, for her valuable insights and unwavering commitment to academic excellence. Thank you. We are immensely grateful to Dr. Abhinandan sir, our esteemed moderator, for his exceptional skills and effective moderator. Moving on to the panelists, we extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. S.R. Keshwar sir for sharing his profound insights Next, we would like to thank Mr. Ashok Maharani sir for his invaluable contributions as teacher to the country and life. Next, we would extend our sincere gratitude to C.A. Lakshmi sir for his expertise in taxation and financial finance. A special thank you to Mr. Prakash Vasadurga sir for his insightful contributions to the system. A special acknowledgement to the informed students for their dedication and hard work in organizing this event. I extend my gratitude to all the faculties and students who participated in the event. And thank you all and have a wonderful day.
I request Dr. Abhinandan sir to address the guests.
I just want to thank all the faculty members of the Department of Commerce making this program to be successful. The long-standing support. Since 2019 we are doing this. The strong bonding we have created with regard to union budget. So personally thank you for all the support which you have given. A special thanks to our HOD, Ammani. Please take us
also should be given one. I also should thank Abhinandan and the HOD as well as principal, because he took time all the way to come to the university and convinced me to come to the college, and also he saw that all of us will be convenient and comfortable with this. Thank you, Abhinandan.
All the informed students, especially third year BCom students, because they are all doing internship. And I told them, please come, this program is for you people only you are organizing. And we have postponed almost 6 to 7 times. So I was actually, what happened, but I convinced some of the panel members. But we didn't know that you report on 29th. Thank you all of you for being in this institute. And special thanks to all the organizers, Ashwini, Asiya, and all the informed students. If I don't mention them, please don't forgive me. And please forgive me. And special thanks to Shivu, who also helped us in all the way from morning to evening to dinner. So thank you. Thank you. So we have come to the last part of the segment, that is the national anthem. So kindly please raise it.
Okay, before that, girls, in the next whatever years to come, one of you should present the union budget in the parliament. So this is for